starts to blossom. Dear Lord, into your wisdom we place our path, direction, and goals, and into your love we place our lives. Kindly rise for the Tamil Thai Vartha and remain standing for the opening prayer by Reverend Father Shinnu. நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கெழிலொழுகும் சீராரும் வதனமென திகழ் பரத கண்டமிதில் தெக்கணமும் மதிச்சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிற பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெருந்தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிலமை திரம்பி அந்த செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
Glory be to the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, one true God. Almighty God, our loving Heavenly Father, we thank you for this gracious occasion where we commence the Postgraduate Research Institute for Medical Education. We look back with joy on all of the accomplishments that we have achieved. We look back and acknowledge losses that have been moments of mourning and remembrance. We look back with some relief on all of the challenges that we have had to undertake. We look upon the faces of our students whom we have taught, supported, and guided throughout these years. We look upon the faces of our doctors, nurses, and paramedics who work as brought breadth and depth to our own work. We look upon the faces of our founders, whose legacies will be remembered. We look upon your face, O God, and see your loving countenance looking back upon us. As we commence this noble juncture today, we ask you to help us commit to trust and collaboration so that we may grow as a team for the future of our institution. Enlighten our minds to the ways we can best serve those who are entrusted to educate and form. Help us see and understand issues which face our institution with clarity and charity. Give us wisdom to find solutions and the courage to see them through. We place before you all who have toiled to materialize this endeavor, to honor you through the noble work of educating our students in prime. Lord, we submit everyone, including the dignitaries and all who have gathered here, and all who are going to benefit out of prime. We humbly ask in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, forever. Amen.
Kindly be seated. I now request Dr. Benjamin Nainan, Chief of Medical Staff and Director Anesthesiology, the Madras Medical Mission, to welcome the gathering.
Professor Gurmeet Singh, Vice Chancellor, Pondicherry University, our chief guest for this evening. Dr. Dilip Mathai, Chief Mentor, Madras Medical Mission, our guest of honor for this evening. Mr. M.M. Philip, Honorary Secretary, Madras Medical Mission, Mr. Babu Daniel, Principal Advisor, Madras Medical Mission, distinguished guests, members of the MMM family, friends from the Pondicherry Institute of Medical Sciences, colleagues and friends. It is my privilege to welcome you to this evening function, the inauguration of the Postgraduate Research Institute of Medical Education. The reputation of Madras Medical Mission as a healing center of excellence, particularly for cardiac disease, women's health, reproductive medicine, gastroenterology, both medical and surgical, nephrology, and transplantation is well established. What is well known is that the Madras Medical Mission is also an established training and teaching hospital, both for undergraduates and at the postgraduate level. For the last 25 years, we have been teaching doctors in the super specialties of cardiology, cardiac surgery, cardiac anesthesia, and gastroenterology. This is not surprising because of the volume and type of work that is done here, the investments that have been made in medical equipment and infrastructure. All these give our trainees exposure to a range of clinical procedures rarely seen in most other hospitals in this country. Currently, we have nearly 60 doctors undergoing training in the aforementioned specialties, and our graduates have established themselves as successful medical practitioners throughout this country and also throughout the world. The dissemination of medical knowledge, the inculcation of values and ethics, the imprinting of good clinical practices in those who pass out of our portals help raise the standard of medical care in the country, and is also a cause of great satisfaction to us, the teaching faculty. Up till now, the postgraduate trainees who have been training here have been admitted under the College of Health Sciences of the Madras Medical Mission, and they have done a commendable job in the administration of these academic courses and in liaising with the different bodies conducting these courses. It is now felt that the interests of our postgraduate students will be better served by setting up a separate postgraduate institute, and the reasoning behind this will be presented very soon by our CEO, Dr. Raju George. Now, before continuing with the remainder of the function, may I now request Mr. M.M. Philip, Honorary Secretary, Madras Medical Mission, to felicitate our chief guest, Professor Gurmeet Singh, with a bouquet. May I request Mr. Babu Daniel, Principal Advisor, to honor our chief guest with a memento. Can I now request our CEO, Dr. Raju George, to felicitate Dr. Dilip Mathai, our guest of honor, with a bouquet. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Benjamin. That was indeed warm. A ray of light is a ray of hope. Let us all leave the darkness and step towards the bright path. I call upon the dignitaries to step forward for lighting the lamp. Integrity, insight, and inclusiveness are the three essential qualities of leadership. And here we have a true leader, Dr. Raju George, CEO of the Madras Medical Mission and Director of Prime, who will now introduce Prime and its vision to us. Dr. Raju George.
Professor Dr. Gurmeet Singh, Professor Dr. Dilip Matai, Mr. M.M. Philip, Honorary Secretary, Mr. Babu Daniel, the rest of the guests on the podium, Mr. Babu Daniel, and distinguished guests. Today, we are turning over a new page in the history of Madras Medical Mission. All these years, as Dr. Benjamin said, in many fields of medicine, such as cardiac surgery, cardiology, electrophysiology, renal transplantation, these are just a few specialties that come to my mind straight away. No doubt, there will be many more. In all these areas, the Madras Medical Mission has been far ahead of the pack. Today, we are proud to inaugurate the Postgraduate Research Institute for Medical Education. So, you might be wondering, all these years we've been doing the postgraduate education. Why now? Why Prime now? So far, the College of Health Sciences have been doing an excellent job. So why do we want to move away from there? So why do we need to change? Confucius said, "Teach me and I will forget. Show me and I may remember. Involve me and I will understand." Now that is the motion and that is the perspective that we are going to bring with Prime. What I'll do is just indicate a few, sorry about that, few points as to why we have introduced Prime. We are separating the allied health science courses from postgraduate medical education. And now you might wonder why this is happening. The National Education Policy of India in 2020 is in the process of re-energizing the higher education system. And they have recommended moving towards institutional autonomy, which will greatly help our College of Health Sciences. The College of Health Sciences will have access to funding, higher educational privileges, and so on. The next thing is integrating, sorry, please go back. The next thing is integrating research, coursework, and clinical work. Now, I'm not saying that this did not happen before, but bringing it under the umbrella of the M unit will help to bring everything together, that is research, coursework, and also clinical work. Now, obviously, our candidates at the moment have to go across to the College of Health Sciences. Once it is under our umbrella, the actual movement that needs to be done will be reduced. So, just a brief step aside. What actually is research? Research is to see what everybody else has seen and to think what nobody else has thought. Now, this was the famous words said by Albert Georgi, not my name, who discovered vitamin C. Now, obviously, we at M, we are sitting on a large amount of data. We need to see how we can utilize this amount of data. Even the other day, on the T block, on the Teresa block, we have moved our IT systems over there. And I went and looked at it, large amounts of computer systems and data. Dr. Ajit Mullasheri, he does quite a lot of research looking at the data. Yuval Noah Harari has said, in a world deluged by irrelevant information, clarity is power. What we want to do with Prime is bring about that clarity, and linking in with the clinical side, it will help us to bring that clarity. Another focus that we want to do is to think outside the box. So for instance, you might have seen a few weeks ago the article in the newspapers about a medicine that Dr. Ajit Mullasheri discovered was good for decreasing atherogenesis in the arteries. Now, this medicine, metformin, has been around since the 1940s, and nobody discovered it in the sense that it could be used to reduce the propensity to develop arterial plaques. Now, this is the type of research. In fact, this discovery is being presented at this very moment by one of our doctors in Singapore. Dr. Chitrashi is going to present that. Now, as healthcare becomes more digital, clinical data sets are becoming larger. At MMM, we are planning to move into a paperless system by January 2024. Now, that will enable our clinicians to access this data and to do research on it and build up evidence-based care. If we look at the research side of it, once we have Prime established and registered, it will be easier for us to apply for national and international funding. It will also be easier to link with other institutions. This week, the beginning of this week, we visited Nite University in Mangalore, and they were really astounded at the amount of research that we did. And Dr. Anil Puthi, who is the Dean of the Medical College, also accompanied us. They were really astounded at the work that we do at MMM. Unfortunately, it hasn't been brought under a clinical side umbrella, which is what Prime will be able to do. In fact, one of the research topics that we are keen to look at is the use of bone grafts in non-healing wounds in cardiothoracic surgery. So that is one area we'll be keen to look at. Another one is the use of zebrafish, which we can use for looking at the development of cancer. Incidentally, we have now at MMM set up a cancer unit meeting, which deals with breast cancer. Every week we have that cancer forum where the cases are discussed and the collaborative treatment modality taken forward. So, you've heard me talk about so many things. And so you might ask why we are doing this. MMM has got the vision of reaching the unreached. What we need to do with Prime and what we are aiming to do is keep the same vision, reaching the unreached, but through research and increasing our knowledge base. We will use the latest that we have found in the research methodology and be able to treat our patients much more effectively. Now, today is the inauguration of this unit of Madras Medical Mission. What we have is a mission to be the center of excellence, imparting exemplary medical education and best clinical practices for better patient care. What we also want to do is to look at translational research that takes ideas and innovations from the bench to the patient, and to develop a highly skilled manpower with a high degree of credibility, ethical standards, and social concerns. So those are some of our missions that we want to accomplish. So in terms of objectives, to accomplish these mission objectives, what are we going to do? First of all, we encourage handholding and help new departments to be set up. So we will set up new courses, DNB, FNB, and so on. And then to apply for accreditation for these courses and recognition by the DSIR and certification. Now, all these university terms and conditions, I'm sure our chief guest will know better than I do. And I'm sure we will seek your help as well in attaining these registrations. So the next steps in terms of the project is forming committees. Now, we haven't formed these committees. These are some of the committees that immediately come to mind. First of all, a research committee, which we already have, but putting it on a more firmer footing. Ethics committee also we have, a grants application committee, an academic committee, a legal advisory committee, and a clinical committee. I'm sure there are more committees that need to be set up to be able to regularize and formalize the research procedure. As our president said, excellence happens not by accident. It is a process, and we've got to work on that process. And today is the first step towards that process. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that detailing. A towering personality who always stretches an extra mile and doesn't settle for the ordinary. Our Honorary Secretary, Mr. M.M. Philip. Sir, I invite you to introduce the guest of honor, Professor Dr. Dilip Mathai.
Respected Vice Chancellor, Dr. Gurmeet Singh, Guest of Honor, Dr. Dilip Mathai, Principal Advisor, Mr. Babu Daniel, CEO, Dr. Raju George, Chief of Staff and Director, Anesthesia, Dr. Benjamin Ninan, Director, PIMS, Dr. Anil Purthy, Senior Consultants and Doctors at the Madras Medical Mission, and PIMS, distinguished guests and students. I've been bestowed with the honor of introducing Dr. Dilip Mathai, who has now become one of us by accepting to be the Chief Mentor for Madras Medical Mission Group. A mentor is someone who sees more talent and ability within you than you see in yourself and helps bring it out of you. There is a reason why Dr. Dilip Mathai, a doyen in the field of education and research, accepted to be our mentor. His vision for an institution, his confidence of building the institution from scratch, his ability to deliver made it a natural choice for us to request him to be our chief mentor. It all started when he came to visit MMM and was the guest of honor at our inauguration of the ER. Following that, we met over dinner, and his ideas and thought processes simply enthralled us. We urged him to take up the mentorship role, and he readily agreed. We're thrilled to have you on board, Dr. Mathai. Born in Tiruvalla, Kerala in 1952, Professor Dilip Mathai completed his MBBS at CMC Vellore in 1974. He then went on to do his Doctor of Medicine, also in Vellore, in 1981. He then joined CMC Vellore as junior lecturer from 1981 and worked his way up to become Professor of Medicine since 1991. He retired from CMC after 35 years of academic service since 2012. However, his natural thirst for knowledge and the earnest desire to bring about change in the field of medicine and infectious disease would not allow him to sit still. From 2013 to 22, he's working as Dean of the Apollo Institute of Medical Sciences in Hyderabad and is currently Distinguished Professor and Advisor at the Apollo University in Chittor, Andhra Pradesh. He is also on the advisory board of many universities.
Among other memberships, he is also the Vice President of the AIDS Society of India, member of the Governing Council of the Clinical Infectious Disease Society of India. He is an examiner for over 15 universities and over 60 centers for MBBS, MD, DNB, and FNB. He is also the recipient of over 25 awards with more than 400 publications. He is a distinguished faculty at many universities, and we are eagerly awaiting your address. Over to you, Dr. Mathai.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, distinguished colleagues and friends on the dais, and all of my colleagues there, and several of you who have been movers and shakers of this institution, M as we know it. I stand here trying to understand what PRIME is, and I looked at the acronym PRIME. It's a single syllable, so I can't really break it down, but I looked at the words ME, medical education. So you've got undergraduate medical education and you've got postgraduate medical education. What is the difference? Medical education is nothing but trying to create a habit of thinking. So for undergraduate education, I give them only concepts and give them an understanding of the whole thing. Whereas in postgraduate education, what we do is to give them an ability to make a decision, in our case, a clinical decision, so that the patient outcome is better. Now, how do I differentiate the teaching? When I go as an undergraduate examiner, we try to find out what the student knows. When you go as a postgraduate examiner, you try to find out what the they don't know. In other words, the difference is you have got a larger and a bigger learning in postgraduate. You have to make that clinical decision. You learn it from role models, you shadow teachers and see patients and make your clinical decisions. So that is, and I also teach this way. As an undergraduate, you need to know 3 courses. As a postgraduate, you need to know 5 courses. When you're a consultant or a teacher, you don't need to know anything because they will tell you everything. Okay, so so it's a passion. So it's a difference in all of these teachings that undergraduate or postgraduate. Now coming to the word research, R. Yes, what exactly is research? Research is truly is to find out the truth. The truth is out there. You have to find it. How do you find it? You search for it. And you apply the principles of mathematics. The truest form of science today is mathematics, the number 1. You're trying to see the probabilities coming closer to 1. So if you hit a 99.9% probability, the chances are that it is the truth. And that particular treatment modality is really going to benefit the patient. So that is truly the research. Now, how do we choose a research topic? I know that we have chosen certain areas where we are proficient in bone bank or bone grafting, whatever it may be. But fundamentally, if Gurmeet Singh Sab is to understand, he is also in the top levels to give grants. What Modi ji says is that do translational research. Now, what do we mean by translational research? There are 2 key words here. Number 1 is potential potential lives saved, YPLL, years of potential life lived. In other words, you have a premature baby. You have lost so many years of life. Man's life is 100 years. Women are stronger than men. They live longer than men. But let us say your lives are 100 years. How many years you have lost? How many years as a result of not preventing disease, as a result of ability to prevent disease? So we prioritize in terms of what disease do you want to really prevent? If it's vaccination, yes, you prevent a large number of diseases. So if it is prematurity, you try to make sure that you treat those babies better. Now, when you look at what the next part of it is, healthy years lost. Now, if as you grow older, you lose maybe have dysfunction of organs and maybe the sensory organs, etc. So the disability adjusted life years. This is the key word. If you can think of any research that will prevent or that will minimize disability or allow me to live healthier, then you've got a sure winner of a translational research. So these are the two key words. If you can prevent or if you can make sure that you minimize disability, be it road traffic accident, be it paralysis, and you minimize disability, you can look at, you're sure to get some funds for that. Now coming to the next part of the whole thing is, what is it that we need? Yes, we alluded to infrastructure. Look at sports. Why are we not in the top in Olympics? Where now in the last 10 years, we began to get some gold medals simply because we have not provided the infrastructure. You look at Karnataka state, 7,000 badminton courts. You look at Orissa, Biju Patnaik ji has given astroturfs and he's looking at hockey. What are we? What would the Pondicherry University want us to do? What would the Tamil Nadu University want us to do? You need to create that infrastructure. If you get that infrastructure, then the thinking process is easy. There is enough for us to do, and we've got the funds to do that. Finally, the last part is, what is this mentorship? I have been, several people have mentored me. And what I am today is because of those people who have mentored me. I don't want to list out. It's more than about 50 or 60 mentors that I have had. Now, you have also been mentors in some way, not just as teachers, not just as scientists. You've been physician scientists, you've been physician educators, you've been administrators, you have mentored. Your mentors are out there. So now, what is it that you need? What do you need a chief mentor for? I really don't know what my job is going to be among so many mentors, but I have just chosen two aspects of this mentorship. One is, how do we scale up? I really don't know how to scale up, but we have to work on how to scale up our mentorship. And the second part of it is, how do we sustain the mentorship? Yes, I may come and go, people will come and go. How do you sustain the mentorships which all of you have created in the past? I don't know how that is to be done, but we need to have processes. The domains of processes, the domains of infrastructure, the domains of faculty, the domains of institutional culture. It's a very big task. You've got a very big vision, and the mission of the Madras, of the MMM is really very wide and big, but I don't know how to do it. So I seek solace in the words of the Romans chapter 12, verse 6, which says, each one of us have been given a grace, and let us handle that and do what we can do cheerfully. Thank you very much for this honor.
Thank you for your insightful words, sir. Marked to the T when it comes to advice. Our principal advisor, Mr. Babu Daniel, will now introduce the chief guest for the evening, Professor Dr. Gurmeet Singh.
Most Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Gurmeet Singh, Distinguished Professor Dilip Mathai, Chief Mentor of the Madras Medical Mission Society, distinguished medical educators who initiated the development of the National Board programs at MMM, who are being recognized and honored today. In the order of initiation, they are beginning with Dr. Ajit Mullaseri, Dr. S. Rajan, Dr. Benjamin Nainan, Dr. Tangam Verma, Dr. Kundavi Shankar, Dr. Ashok Chako, Dr. R.S. Arun, Dr. K. Shivakumar, Dr. Anusha Rohit, and Dr. Ullas Pandarangi. Most respected Professor Dr. Philomena Maridas, who's being honored with the Lifetime Achievement Award today. Dear brothers and sisters of the Madras Medical Mission Society, Honorary Secretary of MMM, Mr. M.M. Philip, Director of Prime, Dr. Raju George, Registrar of Prime, Professor Dr. Anusha Rohit, Reverend Father Shinu Thomas, distinguished members who lead the academic fraternity at both Pondicherry Institute of Medical Sciences and at the Madras Medical Mission Hospital, dear brothers and sisters of the Madras Medical Mission Society, respected members of the faculty, alumni, and aspirants at the DNP programs at the MMM. Ladies and gentlemen, Ellorukum and Iniya Malay Vanakkam. And our sincere greetings on this momentous occasion of embarking yet another voyage of reaching the unreached. I have been entrusted with the envious task of introducing to this august audience one of the illustrious academicians of this nation, Professor Dr. Gurmeet Singh, Vice Chancellor of the Pondicherry University, holding additional charge as the Vice Chancellor of the renowned Gandhigram Rural Institute, a centrally funded, deemed to be university in Dindigul, Tamil Nadu. Professor Gurmeet Singh, who is a renowned academic administrator and an internationally reputed expert in the field of corrosion science and smart materials, is the Vice Chancellor of the Pondicherry University since 2017. Professor Singh began his academic career as lecturer, assistant professor in the Department of Chemistry, University of Delhi in 1976, rising to become a professor over 2 decades ago. All through his career, he has been distinguished by the successful manner in which he has contributed to the administration of the University of Delhi and other public institutions while maintaining a very high level of research output in terms of quality as well as quantity. He had been on high-level committees of the UGC, DBT, CSIR, and several other public institutions. These assignments have included positions of great sensitivity and responsibility, typified by his appointment as the Special Observer for the West Bengal State Assembly elections by the Election Commission of India. Over 10 years ago, Professor Singh served as a chair professor at the Lunghua University in Taipei, where he was specially invited to start collaborative research programs. He was a visiting scientist to Hungary and Japan and has been on academic assignments to Germany, Italy, Australia, Singapore, Korea, Thailand, and Kenya. He is also currently a visiting professor at the Japan Advanced Institute of Science and Technology at Ishikawa, Japan. An inspiring teacher and mentor of research, Professor Singh has guided 14 MPhil and 50 PhD scholars. Several of the resulting contributions have received accolades and best paper awards at the international national conferences. At the time of moving to Pondicherry University, Professor Singh was personally supervising over 10 R&D projects worth nearly 10 crores. With about 150 research papers, of which a majority are in high-impact international journals, Professor Gurmeet Singh is among the most cited of the scientists in the world. An often decorated academician, Professor Singh has received, among other honors, the Meritorious Contribution Award, the Annapurna Award, membership of the Royal Society of Chemistry, London, and fellowship of the Society for Advancement of Electrochemicals, Science and Technology, SAEST, and the Electrochemical Society of India. Adding another feather in the cap of accomplishments of Professor Singh, in November 23, he has been conferred the Nawab Bahadur Syed Nawab Ali Chowdhury Award 2022, instituted in the name of the revered Bangladesh political leader and social worker. This award is in recognition of the efficiency in administration and academics and internationally acclaimed research in the field of corrosion science and smart materials. I quote Deva Pulavar Thiruvalluvar, Paniyumam endrum perumai, sirumai aniyumam thanne viyandu. என்று குறள் 978 கூறப்படுகிறது. हेतो महानुभावदा विनयशील सब पर्व अहम मान्य हो तुच्छदा करती है अधि गर्व. Ladies and gentlemen, a great man is one who possesses many noble qualities. a person who loves others, one who speaks kind words. With a generous attitude, he helps one as much as he can. He will be humble and aware of his position, thinking that there are others who are more enlightened, educated, and have done better deeds than him. Such men will be spoken of proudly, and it is a rarity. It's my humble privilege and a great honor to introduce such a notable man. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Dr. Gurmeet Singh as I invite him to unveil the logo of Prime, the Postgraduate Research Institute of Medical Education.
We are all ears as I request our chief guest, Professor Dr. Gurmeet Singh, to address the gathering.
Very good evening, friends. Father Shinu, who blessed us, was here a little while ago. Chief Mentor, Dr. Dilip Mathai, Mr. Babu Daniel, Mr. Philip. We have Dr. Raju George, Dr. Benjamin Ninan, and Dr. Rohit, and all senior faculty sitting here. And the lady, I'll say young lady who's being given the Lifetime Achievement Award, Dr. Philomena Das, and the better half Air Marshal Das, who are here, and all senior doctors who have been here, and some young researchers as well, I can see. Guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Mr. Babu Daniel, for putting in some kind words about me. Well, we started a journey in teaching, and then gradually research set in, and then we could embark on that, and somehow things worked on, and we moved on and on from a very humble beginning in my research lab when I started way back in 1976 after finishing my MSc. I had nothing in that lab, and they said we have to start the research work, and the guide under whom I started working had just joined University of Delhi about 2 years back, and there was no facilities. He had his sitting room on the 3rd floor. Incidentally, the department where I worked most of the times is the largest chemistry department in the world, with about 458 students in previous and an equivalent number in final, and about 250 research students, and another 100 postdoctoral students who will come in from various parts. And at any point of time, you would have a research grant of about over 200 crores, which is utilized yearly. And no professor has a research grant of less than a crore. So that's, and the faculty strength of that department is 73. Such a large number of students you will rarely find in any. In fact, no other institute comes near it. That's why we say it's the largest in the world. And when we tell them we cater to about 800 MSc students every year, they are all not only shocked, astonished. How do you manage, and where do they go? So many of them. And let me tell you, so many of those are doing remarkably well wherever they go. They are not in one, they are in diverse area. One was sitting here who headed a school, and then she joined PIMS here. So all that is out of the training that is provided there. Now, what I was trying to tell you is that when I started working in that room, small room, I had only 6 boiling tubes and nothing else. And we were to work on corrosion of mild steel in acidic media. So that is where we started. And then when I superannuated from that department, I had, you name an institute, equipment, it is there in my lab. And I left equipment in function order worth about 2 crores, which are now being used, all built through research grants. I was listening to the introductory remarks. They said, excellence is a process, as per our president. It doesn't come overnight, it begins, and it's a process. And I'm glad that that process has now started in Madras Medical Mission. You have been a human service, there is no doubt about it. You have been examining, you have been working for the society in various areas. You name an area, people have worked in that. And the hospitals that you're running are doing wonderful service for the society. There's no doubt about it. But let me tell you, the best way to get clarity about anything, be it cardiology or orthopedics or whatever area you talk about, one would not be clear unless you start teaching. And I've seen there are some excellent doctors who have done wonderful service during their career. But whenever you talk to them, they said one thing we lacked and we regret throughout our life is that we never got a chance to teach. Teaching is one where when you face the audience, initially you may feel very nervous, but when you start teaching, you will find that the clarity of concepts would only set in when you teach repeatedly a particular concept. So this is the importance. And when I joined as a Vice Chancellor, I used to visit PIMS and interact with the faculty. Patients are too many. Facilities are also excellent. Equipment is also there. Everything is there. But then that research component which was lacking probably would now set in. As I said, the process of excellence has been set on motion. And with this PRIME, Postgraduate Research Institute for Medical Education, which in my opinion is a very important step forward that this mission has taken forward. And the teaching which will be now carried over along with the other sides would add a great important feather in your cap. I will tell you why. Research is not something that somebody has to tell you that you have to do it this way. No teaching is done in research. When you teach conceptual part in your subjects, you will find that during those teaching, certain ideas will emerge. Certain ideas will emerge that what can be done. Where is it that we are not very clear about? And through that, once these ideas will come in, you will embark on what areas to develop the research project in, what areas to ask for grant, where do we go, what to do, all those will come in. Let me tell you, when we were developing our department, huge number of students were there, and I put one student on duty. I said, your research work, which will ultimately give you a degree in chemistry, you start collecting the data, who comes in from which area, income level, health level, interest, background in school. All that data which he collected, we gradually came to know that where exactly they have best interest, where exactly we have to develop. And through those, we developed one of the best institutes towards bio-nanotechnology in that department. Not a very old institute. We started working on it way back in 91. 96, 98, we prepared nanoparticles. We started characterizing. We, through our research projects, one with the France government, we got analyzer. And with that, around 2002, 2003, we had the full analytical capabilities. And then within a year, we moved on to bio-nanotechnology side. Then we made hollow nanoparticles, and then we started working on targeted drug delivery for using medicines. So all that from 95 to about 2008, it was developed in a span of 13 years, which is not a long period. What I'm trying to tell you is that this research institute that you are now starting for medical teaching, you would find that those who would teach would get wonderful ideas about generating, about evolving research projects, and that will be the ultimate which is needed for evolving medicines for the benefit of humanity. Those who have served long enough would find a substance in what I'm saying. If you just collect the data of patients who are coming, last 5 years, how many have visited PIMS in various domains, whether it is eyes or ears or cardiology or dermatology or whatever, what are their problems in, which areas they have come from. Probably you will be, through statistical analysis, come to know what are the major areas of problems in and around this and where exactly we have to focus on. And depending upon that, you will be able to give a research project. Maybe you will be able to join hands with us for carrying research forward, or maybe you will be able to give it to DBT or somewhere. Lots of funding comes in, and with your ideas and some young researchers working for you, it'll fructify into many things. You know, I can give you 100 rupees, you give me 100 rupees, it'll remain 200 rupees, it will not grow. But when we are into this kind of an institute where teaching and research will go hand in hand, probably I will discuss with you, I'll give you one idea, you will give me one idea. These two ideas may fructify into 200, 2000, you never know. This is the way science grows. This is the way medical education grows. And I have no doubt in my mind that you are embarking on a very important step, which will, if nothing else is done, let me tell you, the collection of data from various hospitals that you're running about various kinds of problems which people are facing, that itself will give you where exactly to embark on. And that will be a great service in the years to come. I have no doubt in my mind with the kind of brilliant doctors who are sitting, and some of them are the ones with whom I have interacted during the course of our Pondicherry University's various bodies. One of those is our ethics committee. All these committees automatically will come into picture, and you'll start interacting with the universities and research institutes countrywide and worldwide also. You'll come to know that this is where we have to move in. And then once it takes shape, then sky will not be the limit. There'll be, you had the resources, you were doing wonderful things, but they were to culminate into something, and that is some kind of a catalyzer has to be there. Somewhere where the dew has to settle in, and that is going to be this prime, very important name itself, we say is a prime mover. Prime mover, the important potential person. So this prime will lead you to that catalyst, which will give you a lot of wonderful research, and not only for your institute, for, in my opinion, and I emphasize, that will be for the benefit of the society in and around. And once it is in and around, it will obviously move into our country and elsewhere as well. So I wish the institute a grand success with a, well, I can always say that, with a kind of a promise that if ever you require any assistance towards research, towards augmentation of research, furtherance of research in any area, and anywhere we can be of any assistance, let me tell you, it will be there straight away. So that's the assurance I can give you. And I'll extend an invitation to all that if you wish to develop any joint project, our university is there. We have a good microbiology department. We have a good biotechnology department. Biochemistry department is there. So anybody who wishes to collaborate through this institute with us, probably it'll give wings to both of us, and we'll be able to fly better, higher, faster. So that's what the ultimate aim is. I wish the institute a grand success, and I'm sure it'll fructify into an institute which will be of a great benefit to our society. Thank you so very much for inviting me here, and I wish everybody a grand success here. Thank you very much. God bless all of us.
For us, sky is the limit. Thank you, sir. We are indeed privileged to listen to your words of wisdom. And now, for a glorious event of this day, the Lifetime Achievement Award. The person who was instrumental in establishing the medical education wing of the Madras Medical Mission, the Triple M Academy of Medical Sciences and Triple M College of Health Sciences, under her guidance as Associate Dean, Professor, and Head, Department of Medical Sociology, and Dean. Before I say further, I invite Dr. Deepa C. Philip, Principal, Triple M College of Health Sciences, to read the citation.
A very good evening to all the dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, I, Dr. Deepa Philip, the successor of our former dean, stand before you to introduce Dr. Philomena Mariados to all of you. Former dean and MMM College of Health Sciences and MMM Academy of Medical Sciences, former Assistant Director, the Madras Medical Mission. Dr. Philomena Mariados, our elegant, shrewd, astute, intelligent, methodical Dean Madam, started her career as lecturer in sociology in Jyoti Nivas College, Bangalore, and worked her way up as social investigator with Kidwai Memorial Institute of Oncology, Bangalore. She was also director program in QMI, New Delhi, and continued as a programmer officer, health, Deepali, New Delhi, and worked her way to become the director social welfare of GEMS Foundation. She joined the Madras Medical Mission as the advisor for community health, community development, and community outreach activities. Her hard work and outstanding administrative capabilities saw her to be promoted as Assistant Director, Administration of the Madras Medical Mission. She was instrumental in establishing the medical education wing of Madras Medical Mission, the MMM Academy of Medical Science, and MMM College of Health Sciences under her guidance as Associate Dean, Professor, and Head, Department of Medical Sociology. She also managed community health and outreach activities as director with a team of doctors and health workers. She was promoted as Dean of MMM Academy of Medical Science and MMM College of Health Science, and was instrumental in introducing many additional health sciences courses in MMM and establishing MMM CHS and MMM AMS as one of the pioneering allied health institutions in India. We at the Madras Medical Mission family is highly honored and pleased to present the Lifetime Achievement Award to Dr. Philomena Mariados.
Let us give Dr. Philomena a standing ovation as I humbly request our chief guest, Professor Dr. Gurmeet Singh, to kindly honor Dr. Philomena Mariadas for immense contribution towards the medical educational wing of the Madras Medical Mission.
Come there, madam. Covering too many. I don't know how many of you know, anybody who joins police service or civil service, everybody becomes certificate. Whether good performer or bad performer or average performer. But in defense, to become an air marshal, you need to really put in your best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, yeah, please do. Please do. Yes. Right.
Although I did say that I do not need to read, I'm touched. Oh Lord, you raised me up to stand on lofty mountains and to walk on stormy seas. For I was strong as I was on your shoulders. And now, Lord, you have raised me to more than what I can be, more than what I deserve. I thank and praise you, Lord, for this great glory and honor you. Professor Dr. Gurmeet Singh, Vice Chancellor, Pondicherry University, our mentor, Professor Dilip Matai, Honorary Secretary, Mr. M.M. Philip, Mr. Baba Daniel, the Principal Advisor, and all dignitaries on the dais, distinguished dignitaries on dais and off the dais. This is a very, very special moment for me, a very memorable moment, receiving this Lifetime Achievement Award. It is incredible and unbelievable. I feel humbled, deeply moved, and touched. I thank the governing board of the Madras Medical Mission and the management of the Madras Medical Mission for this unexpected honor given to me. Fondly, I'll remember at this point in time, Mr. C.O. Varghese and Mr. E.J. Thomas for all their benevolent encouragement, though they are not there in our midst today. Sir, I'm doubly honored to receive this award from you because my association with the Pondicherry University has been since long, since 2000, when the former Vice Chancellor had given me the postgraduate students of the university to do the survey in the Konimeda village and surrounding villages, and with the help of the postgraduate students. And it was a tremendous success with that data for the community health department of the PIMS. So it's a long-standing association, and I feel greatly honored to receive this from you. I owe a deep debt of gratitude to Dr. K.M. Cherian, who groomed me, believed in me, and trusted me, and laid the foundation for receiving this award today. He really entrusted me with so many multiple opportunities, multifold opportunities in the field of hospital administration, education and training, as well as research. Some of the things that our sir was telling us are lessons that I have learned and which I tried to reach out to my students. Thank you, Dr. KMC. I'm ever grateful to you. I cannot but extend my bouquets of appreciation to the College of Health Sciences college committee members, especially Dr. Paul Korath, who's in heaven now, and Mr. Babu Daniel, who have stood by me in the most crucial and critical storms of my journey in CHS. Thank you, sir. I'm sure Dr. Korath must be showering his graces and blessings on all of us here today for this function. My thanks is due to all the directors and doctors of all units of the Madras Medical Mission and PIMS for their help and support. In particular, I would like to mention Dr. Thangam Marma, my trailblazer and an inspiration. As also to Dr. Rajan for his motivation, and Dr. Mulasari Ajit for his counsel and being my mentor. Accompanying me in this award are all my erstwhile colleagues and all the committed staff of Madras Medical Mission and the College of Health Sciences, to all of whom I dedicate this award. But for them, I will not be standing here. It is they who have made me, been with me, toiled with me, and struggled, and helped me to achieve this award. To you, dear friends, I dedicate this award. a very special thanks to a few of them whom I would like to mention, Mr. Philip Matthew, Dr. Basha, and Mr. Kamak Devaraj, who are not now, sadly, anymore. Mr. Philip Matthew and I have worked in many areas together, and I'm truly grateful to him. Silently but surely standing with me always is my family. My Vice Marshal J. Maridas, Anita and Anand, my children, and my grandchildren, Marie and Francis. Sandwiched between these three generations, all challenges in my profession could only but be positive strides. Thank you. But for you all, I really wouldn't be doing this. Sirs, I also take this opportunity to congratulate Madras Medical Mission for this, for the inauguration of the Postgraduate Research Institute for Medical Education, a much desired, much wanted unit for the Madras Medical Mission. As many of our students in the 4th year in their internship, practically, I think all of them are now doing small projects, and all the suggestions and advice that our mentor and professor has, Honorable Vice Chancellor have given would be extremely useful to be used by our students. Thank you. And I pray that this unit scales to great heights and carve a niche in the national and international arena. Thank you, and God bless you all.
We saw all shades of emotions as you spoke, and that was straight from the heart. Thank you, ma'am. Now we move on to the felicitation of program initiators. Dr. Ajit Shangadas Mullasheri, Director Cardiology at the Institute of Cardiovascular Diseases, the Madras Medical Mission, instrumental in starting the DNB training program in Madras Medical Mission in the year 1997 for cardiology and FNB interventional cardiology in 2008. Dr. Mullasheri Ajit has been an examiner for the DNB cardiology and FNB interventional cardiology. His contribution towards the training of doctors in their continuing medical education until this moment is highly appreciated. Under his guidance, more than 50 doctors were conferred DNB cardiology and 20 were conferred FNB interventional cardiology. Dear doctor, we are honored to have you with us and grace the crowning moment of M expanding itself in the medical research and higher education field. Dr. Ajit Mullasheri is away at Kannur in Kerala for a medical camp, but we are fortunate to have you join us online from Kerala. On behalf of Dr. Ajit, we request Dr. Nandakumar, Associate Consultant Cardiology, to receive the memento from the chief guest.
Nandakumar is very good. Over.
It's not happening?
Has been working in various positions in Madras Medical Mission for the last 25 years. He is the architect of establishing the DNB course in the specialty of cardiothoracic surgery, which was initiated in the year 2001, a 3-year training program for post-MBBS and MS candidates to enroll, which later was transformed to a direct 6-year training program for post-MBBS, which includes general surgery, thoracic surgery, and additional areas of expertise in the specialty of cardiac surgery, as per NBE's curriculum. Almost 20 doctors have successfully completed the course, and all the passed out cardiac surgeons are well placed and doing great in the emerging field of cardiac surgery through the excellent training gained under Dr. Rajan and his team. There are 20 aspiring cardiac surgeons who are on the show waiting to get trained. Dear doctor, we are greatly pleased to have you with us and grace the crowning moment of M expanding itself into the medical research and higher education field. I request Dr. Rajan to receive the memento from our chief guest. Dr. Benjamin Nainan, Director of Anesthesiology and Chief of Medical Staff, the Madras Medical Mission, an inspiration and a role model for the current generation to reckon with. Dr. Benjamin Nainan, the supreme person for the cardiac anesthesia department, who has trained more than 35 doctors in the medical and surgical specialty of cardiac anesthesia, and also established FNB training program accredited with NBE 2 seats, which later get transformed to DNB program with annual intake of 4 candidates. Apart from DNB and FNB, the department had several candidates complete the PDCC and postdoctoral fellowship in cardiac anesthesia in affiliation with the Tamil Nadu Dr. MGR Medical University. Many of the doctors who underwent training under Dr. Benjamin have moved on to become prominent and leading doctors in various hospitals. Dear doctor, it gives us distinction and glory to have you with us and grace the crowning moment of Madras Medical Mission, expanding itself onto the field of medical research and higher education. Thank you, Doctor. Dr. Thangam Verma. Dr. Thangam Verma, a leading international personality in modern gynecology, obstetrics, and reproductive medicine. As a consultant at St. George Hospital and Medicine School, one of the biggest teaching hospitals in London, UK, she created history by becoming the first female surgeon in the 250-year-old institution. Dr. Verma has been instrumental in establishing the IRM and Women Health Unit of the Madras Medical Mission. 48 candidates were awarded degrees from here, which includes trainees who have completed 1-year and 2-year programs such as FNB of National Board of Examinations, postdoctoral fellowship in reproductive medicine by the Tamil Nadu Dr. MGR Medical University, and the M Institutional Fellowship. This unit was established in 2000 and grew to be an excellent center to take care of women and children. It has been a successful center in training in reproductive medicine and women health. Dear doctor, we are thankful to you at this crowning moment of M expanding itself to the medical research and higher education field. Dr. Verma is unable to join us physically today, but is truly happy to send an audio over to the words of Dr. Tangam Verma.
Great event in person. Yep, thank you for your invitation. Unfortunately, I'm not in a position to attend this great event in person. It's a great achievement in establishing and setting up a research center. I wish all the success for this new contribution from Madras Medical Mission. If one reflects back at the ancient history of India, people at that time had the vision to promote education, which will enrich the mind of people in all walks of life. The good old curriculum offered stringent training at various levels. Now we talk about a postgraduate education. Once the suitable candidates achieved their goal in acquiring high-level skill, knowledge, and application of it, they thought about further development through further hard work and studies. Now we call it research. It is mandatory to study further and apply the skill and knowledge for the benefit of the humanity. Undergraduate education lays the strong foundation, basic knowledge and skill, but further study offers special skills which are essential to deal with the diseases we face now. An MBBS doctor cannot do neuro or cardiac surgery. It needs further education, training, and strong will and determination. So it's very essential to establish and promote postgraduate education, training to acquire the appropriate skill and expertise. From my experience in life, further education or postgraduate teaching is essential to offer good service to humanity. One cannot be an expert in everything, but one can choose a skill of his or her own choice and master the technique. It's like a very strong foundation, which is basically MBBS, to build a multi-storied building of one's own choice, which needs further study. Why research? We cannot move forward without an inquiring mind. If we did not explore the present and future, the world would have stagnated. Many innovations, new informations through research, we have achieved a lot more of it, and a lot of which have achieved a lot. Most of it are beneficial. For example, finding vaccines have eradicated many lethal diseases. So for a doctor, it is essential to keep moving forward and continue to study, learn all the time, and look for new approaches for the benefit of the whole world. To bring happiness, peace of mind, good health, and disease-free life, one should practice those ideologies oneself first before we can offer this help to the other people. Knowledge, skill, expertise are great things to acquire, but above all, one should train oneself to be kind, compassionate, caring, and understanding to other people who need our help, support, and they are vulnerable. Human touch is totally mandatory. Training, teaching to education needs holistic approach, including creating skilled people who would be kinder to others and set standards. Thank you.
Dr. Kundavi Shankar, HOD of the IRM and Women Health, Madras Medical Mission, a renowned National Board Certified Obstetrician and Gynecologist, an examiner for FNB with NBE and MGR University Fellowship Program. Dr. Kundavi is one of the senior faculty members of the IRM unit of the Madras Medical Mission. She has been working hard in training of candidates who are aspiring to be the infertility and reproductive specialists. 23 candidates have passed out and 4 candidates are still undergoing training. Apart from FNB National Board of Examinations, Dr. Kundavi has insisted on conducting one-year fellowship programs in the department. The IRM unit is constantly training other hospital MS, MD, DNB trainees for their peripheral postings in the area of reproductive medicine specialization. She is constantly conducting conferences and CMEs for an update on the facilities available and emerging in the field of reproductive medicine. Dr. Kundavi will now receive the memento from the chief guest. Dr. Shivakumar, Head of Pediatric Cardiology, the Madras Medical Mission, is a successful pediatric cardiologist treating critical pediatric cardiac cases. He ensures that the aspiring doctors in the field of pediatric cardiology are being given extraordinary training to cope with everyday emergencies and routine care provided to the pediatric patients coming under his care. He is an active faculty inviting more number of trainees to learn under his supervision. Every trainee goes out with a special knowledge in treating the disease. They are also molded to show empathy and sympathy and to be equipped and efficient to provide all help to patients within the limited resources. He walks an extra mile to train the doctors from economically lower countries such as Bangladesh, Nepal, etc. The Department of Pediatric Cardiology is constantly training other hospital DNB trainees for their peripheral postings in the area of pediatric cardiology specialization. Is constantly conducting conferences and CMEs for an update on the facilities available and emerging in the field of pediatric cardiology. Dear Doctor, it gives us pride to have you and grace the crowning moment of Madras Medical Mission expanding itself into the field of medical research and higher education. Dr. Shivakumar is away at Kannur, Kerala for a medical camp, but we are fortunate to have you, sir, join in online from Kerala. On behalf of Dr. Shivakumar, I request Dr. Srija Pavitran, Senior Consultant Pediatric Cardiology, to receive the memento from the chief guest.
Congratulations. Very well done.
Dr. Ashok Chako, former Director, IGLT Madras Medical Mission. Dr. Ashok Chako currently holds a position as a Director, Medical Gastroenterologist, Naruvi Hospitals, Vellore. A gastroenterologist par excellence who has worked and served in prestigious organizations like CMC Vellore. Dr. Chako was pivotal in establishing the DNB Medical Gastroenterology course in the year 2018, accredited with NBE for annual intake of 2 seats, in which 4 candidates have successfully completed and 4 more trainees are undergoing training in the Department of Medical Gastroenterology. Dear Doctor, it gives us immense pleasure and honor to have you with us and grace the crowning moment of Madras Medical Mission expanding itself in the medical research and higher education field. I request Dr. Chako to receive the memento from the chief guest. Dr. Anusha Rohit, Head of Department Microbiology and Senior Consultant, Chair Infection Control Committee, the Madras Medical Mission. Dr. Anusha Rohit is one of the most renowned microbiologists. Dr. Anusha Rohit is a faculty with the latest medical know-how and an exemplary teacher to the students who got trained under her guidance. She makes sure that all our trainees follow all the necessary safety protocols. Dr. Anusha Rohit offers world-class care and guidance towards training of various medical, paramedical, allied health, and life science undergraduate and postgraduate students at her department. She always goes an extra mile to help every student to acquire keen knowledge in their area of expertise. She has always been a source of encouragement to the students to take up the projects that can be an added solution in treatment plans of patient care. Dear Doctor, we are highly privileged and honored to have you with us. We request Dr. Anusha Rohit to receive the memento from the chief guest. Dr. Arun R.S., Head of IGLD Madras Medical Mission. Dr. Arun RS, after completing MBBS and DM from CMC Vellore, where he was working as an assistant professor in gastroenterology, decided to join Triplum in 2012 in order to set up a quaternary level institute of gastroenterology and liver disease along with his mentor, Dr. Ashok Chako. With a keen interest and expertise in therapeutic endoscopy and GI motility, Dr. Arun helped establish Advanced Interventional Endoscopy Unit and GI Physiology Unit at IGLT Triplum. Since 2018, Dr. Arun was in charge of endoscopy training for the postgraduate students. Since 2020, after the retirement of Dr. Ashok Chako, Dr. Arun took over the reins of DNB training in the gastroenterology at the institution and currently serves as the head of medical gastroenterology at IGLD Madras Medical Mission. Dear Doctor, it gives us privilege and honor to have you with us. We request Dr. Arun RS to receive the memento from the chief guest. Dr. Ullas M. Pandurangi, Chief of Cardiac Electrophysiology and Pacing, Arrhythmia Heart Failure Academy, the Madras Medical Mission. Dr. Ullas M. Pandurangi is the architect of designing the course curriculum of Postdoctoral Fellowship in Clinical Cardiac Electrophysiology, a new fellowship program with the Tamil Nadu Dr. MGR Medical University, and has got approval by the university in 2021 with an intake of 2 seats per year. So far, 2 candidates have successfully completed the course. Also, FNB in Cardiac Electrophysiology has been accredited with the National Board of Examinations with an intake of 2 seats per annum. The Department of Cardiac Electrophysiology is constantly training other hospital DNB trainees for their peripheral postings in the area of cardiac electrophysiology. He is constantly conducting conferences and CMEs for an update of facilities and in the emerging field of cardiac electrophysiology. Apart from the fellowship training, Dr. Ullas M. Pandurangi has made a revolution in training the technical support team of St. Jude and provided internship for biomedical engineering students. Dear Dr. Ullas M. Pandurangi, we thank you for your immense support to our organization, especially in the field of training in cardiac electrophysiology. On behalf of Dr. Ullas M. Pandurangi is organizing a conference in Triplum and deeply conveys his inability to be present in person to receive the memento, and his daughter, Dr. Ulka Pandurangi, will receive the memento on his behalf and sends his gratitude to the management for the same. Dr. Deepa C. Philip, Principal, Triplum College of Health Sciences, a unit of the Madras Medical Mission. Long-time educator with more than 20 years of experience and capable of handling multiple administrative roles, strong leader and expert communicator who thrive in student and parent-facing roles with a motto to have successful student and parent satisfaction. She is the key person and a single point of contact with the universities, medical boards and medical councils in the successful conduct of training happening at the Madras Medical Mission since 2015 until now. She has developed to be an excellent support system to be a middle person contact between the institution and universities and as well as the students and universities. Dear ma'am, we are honored to have you with us and grace the crowning moment of Madras Medical Mission, expanding itself in the medical research and higher education field. I request Dr. Deepa C. Philip to receive the memento from the chief guest. Having read all the citations thus far, now we have Ms. Jacinth. Ms. Jacinth is a senior coordinator in the field of training and student academic affairs at the Triplum College of Health Sciences, a unit of the Madras Medical Mission. The Triplum College of Health Sciences, a medical and allied health educational institution affiliated to the State Medical University, the Tamil Nadu Dr. MGR Medical University, and the DNB FNB program accredited to the National Board of Examination, which is an autonomous body under the Ministry of Health and Family Education and Examination in India. Presently, Ms. Jason coordinates for the training conducted at our hospital in medical, paramedical, and allied health profession at the various units and departments of the hospital for Indian and overseas medical professionals. Dear Ms. Jacinth, we are happy to have you with us in the crowning moment of M expanding itself into the field of medical research and higher education. I request Ms. Jacinth to receive the memento from the chief guest. Thank you, dignitaries. A thankful heart is not only the greatest virtue, but the parent of all other virtues. I request Dr. Anusha Rohit, the Registrar, Prime, HOD of Microbiology and Chair of Infection Control Committee, the Madras Medical Mission, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Dina. Please bear with me for another few minutes before we break for dinner. Respected Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Gurmeet Singh, Mentor to the Madras Medical Mission, Professor Dr. Dilip Mathai, Honorary Secretary to the Madras Medical Mission, Mr. M.M. Philip, Principal Advisor, Mr. Babu Daniel, CEO, Dr. Raju George, Chief of Staff and Director of Anesthesia, Dr. Benjamin Nainan, dignitaries of the dais, on site as well as off site, colleagues and friends. Endaro Mahanubhavulu, salutations to all those great people in this world. As I stand before you today, I'm reminded of a chapter in my 8th standard English textbook on Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, one of India's greatest statesmen, philosophers, and teachers, has lived by a principle: don't lose your foothold on earth while sweeping the skies. Vidya dadati vinayam, knowledge gives us humility. This is something commonly seen with every successful person I have met so far in my journey. And looking at this August gathering here, you will know I have met quite a few in my life. I'm talking about none other than our chief guest, Vice Chancellor of the Pondicherry University and DTBU, Dindigul, Professor Dr. Gurmeet Singh. I humbly thank you, sir, for gracing this occasion and inaugurating our new unit of the Madras Medical Mission, namely Prime. A life of joy and happiness is possible only on the basis of knowledge and science, said Dr. Radhakrishnan. The importance of having a good mentor cannot be overstated. A good mentor will inspire you, push you to break barriers, develop you, expand your perception, and most importantly, be non-judgmental. They offer a safe space to learn. I thank you, Professor Dr. Dilip Mathai, for being a personal mentor to me as well as to the Madras Medical Mission. I hope under your guidance, we can take Prime to new heights. Any organization cannot achieve success without hardworking and dedicated employees. Thanks to each one of you for the efforts and diligence that you put into work on every single day. Our dedication towards delivering high quality output in every task assigned is truly needed to set a benchmark as we have Prime taking off today. We need to live up to the confidence that the management has reposed in all of us and taken a giant leap in the genesis of Prime. Each one of us at Prime have been an embodiment of exceptional creativity and innovative skills, which makes us an asset to MMM. This has been the visionary approach of our management in wanting to take MMM to greater heights, to bring visibility and be at par with the best in the medical sector. All I can say to the management of MMM is thank you for keeping us motivated and encouraging us to contribute significantly to the growth of this organization. The giant leap taken by you today means a lot to us, and we promise to give our best in MMM's journey to success. Mr. Philip, your people skills combined with great communication and listening skills makes you an invaluable, incomparable leader for MMM and for each one of us. We need someone like you to keep patting us and also keep us on track when things go wrong. You have a winner's attitude. For you, no problem is too complex to solve or insurmountable, and no mountain is too high to climb. Your attention to detail is your greatest strength, which is why we see in you determination and confidence. Thank you, sir. Mr. Babu Daniel, sir, thank you for being a beacon of light in our path with your actions and words at every step. Please continue to be our source of inspiration always. Your positivity and leadership is infectious. We thank you immensely for infecting us with your can-do attitude and looking at the positive side of every situation. You helped us develop this logo for Prime with the tagline, Viropana Vidya Vichayana, which means healthcare, knowledge, and research. We hope to live by this tagline and take Prime to greater heights to the best or excellence in healthcare, knowledge, and research. CEO sir, we at MMM love what you do for the team every day in terms of analyzing and solving every hurdle that comes our way. Your patience, your helpful nature, and team spirit endears you to all and keeps motivating us. Sir, as someone who came from the UK NHS system to set the ball rolling in MMM to perfection, you are a valuable addition to our workforce as you stand shoulder to shoulder with each member in addressing every issue at MMM and helping us forge excellence. We are amazed by your skills and potential. I feel privileged to be working by your side as I learn a lot about management through your association. Thank you, sir. Dr. Benjamin Ninan, the delicate balance of mentoring someone is not creating them in your own image, but giving them the opportunity to create themselves. One looks back with appreciation to the brilliant teachers, with gratitude to those who touched our lives. The curriculum is much necessary raw material, but the warmth is the vital element for a growing plant and for the soul of a student. Thank you for being the person you are, sir. Dr. Philomena Mariadas and Dr. Deepa Philip, you have set really high standards in running the courses of FNB, DNB, and other fellowship programs successfully for the past 25 years. As you hand over the baton for the PG courses to MMM Prime to jointly continue the venture, I hope we can do justice to your dream and take Prime to great heights. Thank you for your relentless contribution to this task. I would like to take the opportunity to thank all the program initiators who've been clinicians, mentors, and researchers par excellence. I will always seek your guidance and thank you for being a part of this celebration. I would like to thank the dignitaries both on-site and off-site. Your vision and contributions are what is going to build Prime. Thank you for joining together on this momentous occasion. I would like to thank Dr. Anil Purti, Dr. Peter Manoharan, Dr. Renu Jiboy, and every faculty member of PIMS for sharing our joy as we forge ahead in working together in this Herculean task of bringing name and fame to Prime. Finally, I'd like to place on record my thanks to Mr. Mohan Daniel, who helped put this program together. Mrs. Dina, Mrs. Jacinth, we couldn't do without you. Mr. Ganapati and his team, Mr. Mahesh, and Mr. Ravi for his support with transport, Ms. Nalini for helping with the invitations, Father Shinu for blessing this event, Sana Systems, graphic stills for photography, the physician assistants who sang the Tamil Thai Vartha, the volunteers who helped out with this program. This program was made beautiful because of you. Thank you, one and all.
Dr. Anusha, your thank you has really touched our hearts, and thank you to you too. We may now rise for the national anthem, after which we request the dignitaries to join us for dinner. Dr. Anusha, your thank you.
Maratha, Dravida, Utkala, Vanga, Vindhya, Himachala, Yamuna, Ganga, Uchala, Jaladhi, Taranga, Tava Shubha Name Jage, तव शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाहे तव जय गाथा। जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।